Hey, what's up, friends? It's Gerardo over here at Luna Realty, and today we have What the F is Earnest Money? All right, you probably heard it. If you're in the mix of buying a house, selling a house, you probably heard the word earnest money. You may have heard the explanation, but I'm here to give my point of view on it. So earnest money is it's a sign of good faith. It is something. It's consideration that you're gonna give an amount, usually a 1%, or as low as $1,000. There's no typical amount per se, but what we see within our market is as low as $1,000. I've also seen an average of 1% of the purchase price. And in addition, what I like to do is if we are in, and when I say we, I'm kind of putting the mindset that I represent the buyer. What I do is I call the listing agent and I want to know if we're in competition with any other buyer. So I could also use the earnest money as leverage to negotiate. So if there are multiple offers, we want to give the strongest amount of offer first. And when you do make an offer on a property, there is a line that says earnest money. How much are you going to give, and how many days? Typically, it's about 3 days. I like to put 2. Because if we are in competition and the seller sees that, hey, this buyer's going to give it in 2 days, they might go with us. They might see that a little bit more sweeter on their end. If we are in competition and they do see, it's a purchase price of $200,000, again, $200,000, 1% of that is $2,000. And let's say you are the seller and receive a $5,000 earnest money, it might entice you a little bit more. So there is different ways to negotiate the earnest money. I always ask the seller's agent, do we have multiple offers? Is there a deadline, etc. So to sweeten the pot, I definitely let my clients know. Try to offer more. If it's the home that you love, what we call the one, and you don't want to lose it, definitely step up the earnest money. It's a sum of money that you put down and demonstrate the seriousness about the home buying process and the seriousness that you're going to go through with it. At the end of the day, if the seller doesn't accept your offer, then you don't give anything. It's dead deal. There's no money rendered. If the seller does accept your offer, and let's say you made a commitment that you're going to give $5,000 in 2 days, then it's going to be $5,000 in 2 days. I'm going to get the instructions of where the earnest money is going to go. Usually it's the seller's attorney or the title company. So there you have it, earnest money. It's a sign of good faith that you're going to continue with the home. Now, often, within conversation with buyers, they say, well, what happens with the earnest money? It's part of the transaction. It's going to buy down whatever you got to bring in. So for example, if you got to bring in, $10,000 to closing, and you gave $2,000, well, it's going to be subtracted from that transaction, and at closing you bring $8,000. So what happens if the deal falls through? What happens, if somebody cancels? Well, the earnest money, you could get that back. If you get cold feet, if you just wake up one day and say, hey, I just don't want to be a homeowner anymore with no reason. Very serious sign that the seller will fight for that money, for wasting basically time, resource. So that you might lose the money if you just wake up one day and say, hey, I do not want to go with this. Do not want to proceed. I want to go back to renting. I got cold feet. it's not a sign of good faith. The seller will say, well, let's cancel the deal and let's keep all or portion of that earnest money. It has not happened to me. Probably has happened to maybe other agents or so. But to me, it has not happened to any of my clients on both the buyer and seller side. So there you have it. If you have any other questions about earnest money, let me know. This is just a short video, the tip of the iceberg. There's plenty more conversation in terms to these steps to buying a home. And if there's anything that I could do for you, any explanation, any other type of terms or videos that are needed, let me know, comment, and follow me on social media and YouTube to learn a little bit more about the experience of buying or selling a home. Thank you very much. Again, from Berwyn, Illinois at Luna Realty, it's Gerardo. Take care.